Hello, everyone. My name is Anna, and our today's guest is Phelipe Bueno, who is a business development manager from Brazil. He will share with us his story about his career way, and also he will share his priceless knowledge about the Brazilian market. I suppose it will be very useful for those who decides to start his or her own business in that land. So enjoy the ride. Very, very happy to see you. And today we're going to talk about your professional timeline and also about the Brazilian market. But first, I would like to start with your professional one. So, what can you tell me about it? As I know, you have been engaged in computer science for a very long time. And what influenced this very choice? How did you go there?
Well, hello, Anastasia. It's nice to be here. I'm happy to be part of this project, and I'm happy to be here talking with you. My career started a long time ago. I will not say how many years, so you find out that I'm a little bit old.
No problem.
My father, he had a dream of own his own business, and he researched a lot to find something. He would like to have a store, restaurant, coffee, uh, coffee place. And when I was 14 years old, he bought a restaurant. At that time, he I was really shy, and this restaurant helped me a lot because I started to work with him after school, and I had to deliver food. I had to do this customer services. I need to talk with the customers and also, well, help them with their problems, find out how to make them happy in the restaurant, and this helped me a lot. I could develop this. I was always in a place that I was uncomfortable at that time, and because of that, I could learn a lot and develop some skills that I use until today. Uh, my father, he had a problem with technology. He didn't know anything about it, and because of that, I start to research it. I start to study it. All system that we used in that restaurant, I developed them. Wasn't anything complex. Was usually only, well, system to do balance and also to record our invoices to send to the accountant offices and also pay our taxes. But it was interesting to start. It got my curiosity, and I studied computer science. And also funny because I had the opportunity after this restaurant experience. I started an internship as a technical support in one company, where the people called and said, I had a problem with my PC, and I start to help them. In computer science, I learned a lot of about programming, develops apps and sites and systems, but I didn't, wasn't something that I was into it. I didn't really like to uh, be in the computer all the time developing. Was really stressful, which is a little bit interesting since I choose to be in computer science. But I find out that and also even more funnier, because I was shy when I was 14. And when I was working with computers, I find out that I really liked to, well, have this connection with people. Uh, and then I start to work in operations and developing. Uh, uh, before that, after I finished my internship, I opened a store with supplements, vitamins, and gene stuff with a partner. In 2 years, we had two stores in São Paulo.
That's
After
impressive.
Yes, was a huge project with a nice development. We grew in 2 years. We had 2 stores, and in 4 years, we received an offer to sell it, and we decided to do it. After that, I came back to the IT market, but in an outsourcing operation with Lexmark, which was really interesting. I could learn a lot of new systems, a lot of new projects that they were developing at that time, and I could learn some professional skills, some professionalism in how to behave in some places, how to, well, things that I didn't had before, and this was really nice for my career. After that, I went to Starbucks, uh, where I could work a lot of things in details. Again, the same thing that I had with my father in the restaurant, but with another level of de- details that in Starbucks they provide training, how to please your customer, everything that they do in the store. It is designed to make less movements, the least movements possible. They uh, everything that they have to do, it's a time set. You need to do at that time. You need to do in some minutes. Everything is pre determined. Uh, it's also something that I could, well, learned a lot. Again, that after that, I had the opportunity to go back to technology. Now in a startup called Ubus, they are trying to, well, improve, innovate the way that we use the public transportation in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And was nice to be with technology again. And now I worked with the developing software. I worked with the new technologies that I haven't worked before. I worked in a different management structure. After 2 years, I was taking care of the operation of this startup. And after 2 years in this startup, I had to work also, be responsible for the marketing and for the sales, everything but the developing area, that they had another manager, and we worked really well together. I'm friend of them since today. We still met. Everyone that worked with me at the time are not working there anymore, but we still get together to, drink and talk about our new challenges, and also about life. We got close. We were a short team, so we had to be friends. We need to have a good environment for these people to work, and I believe that me and this other manager, we were able to provide it. That's why we still friends. We still, seeing each other.
How
And
lovely.
then,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
How lovely of you that you just get on well and keep this communication till today.
Yes.
Oh,
Also, when they have an opportunity, we ask each other if we know someone, and it's important to have this network, I guess.
yeah,
Uh,
sure.
After that, I start to work in a fintech company from Russia. Uh, it was an incredible thing in my career because I start to work 100% of the time online, and also 100% of the time in English. And at the start was a little bit stressful because I was speaking English, listen in English, sometimes in Russian, writing in English, and it took me maybe a few weeks to get used to it. And when I clock out, was like, oh, I can speak Portuguese now.
Finally.
Oh, finally, I can speak Portuguese now. But it was interesting to work because we had people from different places in the world. Uh, and was interesting to work with a company from abroad with a different culture, with different people. And this is what I love most, is to, well, learn from different places. I think that the world is sometimes is too big because we are far from each other, but sometimes it's too small because we are, well, we look like each other so much that I say, well, you could be my neighbor.
Sure. That's right.
And then in this fintech, I met Kiryu. Uh, we worked together, and after that, he asked me to work with him in Go Latam.
All right. So, and I want to ask you about your career path as it's quite diverse. And so, what was the hardest challenge, or maybe what were the hardest challenges on your path?
I think the hardest challenge was to work for a Russian company because was something really new that I didn't have. Uh, every other jobs that I had, I had someone to talk and say, "What do you think?" Or, someone that had worked with in that area before and could give me some advice and how to work with that. But in this Russian company, I was the first that I know that did
Mhm.
something like that. And I couldn't ask to anyone. So I had to, well, develop myself with myself, well, get improved myself.
Mhm.
And not this, it is not, isn't, it's interesting that I could ask to people about questions that I had in the other companies that I worked, and now I can ask, I can answer questions that people who, well, wants to understand more what I did and how it was. It's interesting to be a influencer now, reference right now about it.
And what were the most necessary skills that you acquired during this long-lasting career way?
I think I had to, well, I had to study a lot the product. I had to not only understand, but also to like what I was selling, what I was providing, and 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 it was a challenge to be done. Uh, but I think I did well.
So, and back to your current position, if I'm not mistaken, you are a business development manager.
Yes, I'm a business development manager here in Brazil, and because of my career path was so diverse, I could understand different industries. I could develop some skills how to work in different industries and understand how these markets would work in Brazil. And this is interesting because in Go Latam, uh, we provide assistance to business that want to start here in Brazil and develop themselves here in Brazil. So we are able to connect this business to the right people, and not only people, but how to legalize this business, how to, well, localize this business, also how to make it in the Brazilian culture, how to improve this business, also do all the financial planning that the people, these businessmen would expend much more time and money to understand. And because we know the market, we could do it easier, we could do it faster and cheaper.
And what kind of industries do people usually choose when they come to Brazil when they want to start their business there? What are the most popular ones?
Well, they are coming with a lot of different technologies uh, in different areas, also in marketing. I believe that because Brazil is a huge country and we are, well, improving ourselves economically speaking, we are growing. We have a lot of tools that we don't work yet, we don't know yet, and we need to improve. And we have many different tools that are already being developed in different places of the world, and they can, well, also set their tools here in Brazil and grow their market.
And what should a businessman keep in mind when he starts his business in Brazil? What kind of recommendations would you give?
Well, they need to be fast thinking, because things in Brazil change fast. They need to be careful with our culture, uh, and, well, develop their product thinking about it. So they need to provide assistance uh, for this product. And we do like mm, we do like these different tools, different products from abroad. Sometimes we don't even have the idea that the product is not Brazilian, is not from Brazil. Uh, but they need to mostly be flexible, and also fast thinking to be in our country and thrive with the product.
And could you give an example of how fast thinking is essential in Brazil? Sorry.
Yes, we have the example of Walmart.
Mhm.
Uh, it's an example that didn't work because they came to Brazil some years ago. And the idea was to, well, be a huge chain market that, like they are in US, uh, but they face some difficulties, cultural difficulties, and they didn't think fast enough to adapt. For example, our logistic it's a challenge because it's a huge country. Some places are hard to get there. Some places uh, they don't have a really developed uh, chain of roads, so it's a challenge. And I guess that Walmart couldn't, well, spread their company so well,
They
develop their
couldn't
system.
scale up, right?
Yes, they couldn't scale up fast
Uh-huh.
as they thought. Also, they have a culture in the US that the low prices every day, promotions every day, and in supermarkets here in Brazil, we don't have this perception. That every day you are paying less. We had the perception that today we have a promotion, or this promotion is for a set time. For if you come this week, you will pay less in this product. Not every day promotion. It's something that is cultural. Also, they took a lot of time to change their prices or change their culture. It's something I can understand. It's a foreign company, huge foreign company, that would have to have a lot of approves until it get to the market here in Brazil. And this time, things change too fast, and they couldn't adapt fast enough. So we don't have any Walmart here in Brazil. I can't remember any store, and I live in São Paulo. That is the biggest city in Brazil. So it it was an example of some of a company that couldn't be flexible or fast enough to adapt to our culture.
I asked you about the industries which are the most popular in Brazil and which ones are the most developed, apart from logistics.
Logistic is someone that needs to be developed. It's a challenge right now. We have a lot of technologies companies, startups that are developing fintechs. Also, we have. I think we are one of the countries that most export developers. So we have a lot of good people working in softwares, in apps, filling gaps in each region that we have in Brazil. So I think IT is the place that is growing faster. Also, of course, the agribusiness, because it's something that in Brazil is huge. So technologies for agribusiness, how to grow crops faster, or how to find plagues in the crops before it be a problem, how to use less fertilizers, or how to make more with less money. So we have also involved technologies, but for agribusiness.
Oh, and what does a businessman need from a foreign country when he comes to Brazil? How can he start a company? What does he need to do? What are the necessary stages?
Well, you will need a CPF. You need to start the company, to open the company. They need a number called CNPJ. It's the registered number for that company. And to get that, they will need to ask for a CPF. They will need an address, and they will need a legal representative. And this legal person will have to be a Brazilian, or actually no need to be a Brazilian, but someone who has documents to live and work in Brazil. And that's all. We can start all the process, and it took about 20 to 30 days, and it's done.
It's not so many days.
Yes.
I see.
So sometimes I think that this 20 and 30 days takes a lot of time, but it's just 1 month. It's not so long.
I see. Okay, Phelipe, thank you so much for sharing your story and this essential knowledge. I think it will be very, very useful for those who will be watching it.
Thank you. I'm happy to be sharing my knowledge with you all.
Thank you.